Good afternoon, everybody. Again, I'm a little bit early. Have a look at my sound, make sure everything's working before 4 o'clock, before everything starts up. Let's okay. Somebody to come on about 15 minutes early, so we'll see what happens. So we've got one person in the house. Hi. Let's have a look. Hi. We've got. I can see myself now. I can see myself, see if I'm making any noise. Oh, there we go. We've got some noise. Oh, we've got 3 people in the house. So everybody okay? Jim Collins, loud and clear. That's marvellous. Absolutely great. Thank you very much. So, yeah, again, I always like to come in a little bit there. Oh, 13. Wow. So, thank you very much for those people. Early starters, like 15 minutes early. So, I always like to be prepared. There's some people start right on the minute and they have all sorts of problems. Well, I don't like doing that. Montana's Thailand retirement sounds good. Thanks very much, Mr. Lampon. Good morning, Les. Good morning. Good morning, Les, loud and clear. Billy Bob, hi, Les. Hi, Billy. Always nice to see you on here. You're always one of the regular attenders. Thanks very much. So, yeah, again, I've got my Australian retired and living the dream mug and my living the dream t-shirt. A lot of things to talk about today. It's been a very, very interesting week or 2 weeks. As you can see, beautiful blue skies behind us, absolutely beautiful weather. Today's temperature is 32.2 with a 66% humidity, which is hot and sticky. Now, there has been a bit of a breeze, but sadly that breeze has died down a little bit. So hopefully it'll come back a little bit and it doesn't bother the microphone. So how's everybody else? How's everybody coping with the world situation? What's going on? I'm an avid news person. I always like watching the news and see what's going on around the world. And I'm in like my own little bubble here. I'm far, far away from it. But it's good to see on the outside, looking at everything that's going on. Looking to visit Rayong this week, but not sure where to stay. Rayong town centre seems from the beach. Any suggestions? Yeah, I've got a couple of suggestions. Actually, Rayong itself, Rayong city, is a long, long way from the main beaches, really. I would say nice place to stay right in Banpei. There's 2 places. Mar Petras, it's called. That's beautiful. That's right in the centre of Banpei. So, like, sort of everything's walking distance to the ferries and things like that. And Stories Hotel. If you want the telephone numbers and things like that, send me an email and I'll send you the details. Mar Petra isn't on booking.com, but Stories is. And they're about 1,000 baht a night. And it's very, very nice. Mar Petra is good if you just want to walk everywhere, if you don't want to rely on transport. And there's a weekly market twice a week right next door to it. So that's buzzing and that's exciting and you get anything and everything there. So send me an email. I'll put my address on the bottom if you want details as to a couple of places I suggest. 58 at yahoo.com. Say just send me a couple of emails or something and I'll return. If not today, maybe it's definitely by tomorrow. But Rayong, as I say, there's a few people who've stayed in Rayong. I've had quite a few chats with subscribers and things like that, and I've met a few subscribers in the past couple of weeks. And Rayong now isn't everybody's cup of tea, I know, because I live here, and it is quiet, and it's not absolutely on the tourist map, which I like. That means everything here is reasonable. But I understand those people who've been to Rayong, and it's not their cup of tea. And but they've had a look and been here, If you're single, Rayong probably isn't the place to be. But if you're a couple or just traveling around, Rayong is a nice place to come. And so we've got Koh Samet, beautiful tropical island, fantastic place. Weather in England is not good. I won't pronounce that word. The country is turning into one of the giant lake. Never known so much rain every single day. Oh wow. We could do with a bit of rain over here. I know we're close to rainy season now, but we're getting there. Uh, there's only a bus service from Bangkok about 3 hours away. Yeah, the bus actually takes you into the Rayong, just on the outskirts of Rayong, to actually get into like the Ban Pay area where all the beaches are. Uh, Ban Pay is on the outskirts of the beaches. Swanson is like the beaches, and then Chak Pong beaches are near us, and then there's Limay Pim. So you can catch a bus into Ban Pay. But if you're going to come, send us an email, and I can pick you up in Ban Pay. Or if you wanted me to pick you up at the bus station, I'll pick you up at the bus station and take you to the hotel. If you want to come to Ban Pay type of thing. But no problem whatsoever. Everything can be done, everything can be organised. We've had our holidays. I'm back home now for a week or so I can do various things again now. I've still got jobs to do, which I'm going to do next week, which I'll go into a little bit later on. But we'll just get there. Everything can be done, everything can be sorted out. And coffee in the chat is always acceptable. Good day, Les. And Paul's Thailand. Good day, Les. Hello. I've got my Australian mug. Good day. Are the new tax laws hurt your economy? Tax laws, again, tax laws. Everybody's scared about the tax laws here. Nothing has been done as yet. And there's a lot of people scared of the taxes, but let's just cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm not worried for it, for starters anyway. A lot of people mention the 35%. Now, 35% taxes for the big tax earners. Us poor pensioners who are on an income or basic income, that the maximum for a retirement pension, 65,000. That's what you have to show. Now, I believe that you don't even start paying tax until you earn in 150,000 baht if you live here. So 65,000 compared to 150,000, there's a big difference. And even at 150,000, you're not going to pay the top tax aisle. So tax, just wait and see. Let it sort it out. Even the top tax experts yet don't know what's going on. So anybody who says, I know about the tax, as of today, I've not seen anybody with 100% knowledge of what's going on. There's plenty of conspiracy theories, how much you're going to get charged, but that's clickbait, and people go on to that and watch the videos. And at the end of the video, it's basically they're no better informed than they were at the beginning of the video. So that's my talk on tax, is wait and see what happens. It's never going to be a big thing. So look. Billy Bob, cheers, ladies. Very helpful of you. No problems. How easy is it to buy in Thailand? Everything in Thailand is very easy to buy. If you talk about houses and things like that, I'll come on with that in a minute. Good afternoon, Les from France. My house is now on the market, so the wheels are in motion for retirement in Rayong. Come and have a look at Rayong first. Don't jump the gun type thing. Come and have a look. I suggest anybody just to come and have a look at Thailand. Thailand's a massive place, and there's some beautiful places to be. Thanks for the feedback. No problem. Good morning, Les. I'm still hanging on in the borough, mate, hoping to be able to fly in November. Well, November's the ideal time because that's sort of the beginning of the high season, November, December, and it's also the cooler season. Not that it's much cooler, but it's a little bit cooler anyway. So yeah, it's fandabidosi. And so anyway, yeah, is it easy to buy in Thailand? Yes, it is. Now, there's a lot of people who will go on about living in Thailand. You can't own the land, but you can own the house, and that's correct. You can't own the land, but you can lease the land. Now again, lease lease is quite big as well in the UK. You actually don't own the property, but you lease the property. And it's sort of a similar thing over here. But you own the lease. So, for instance, if you wanted to lease the land and build a house on it, no problem. You can lease the land for 30 years plus 30 years plus 30 years. And the landlady, landlord, or whatever can't do anything because you've got an official lease. Now, anybody who wants any details, just send me an email and I can send you a lawyer and you'll get it from the horse's mouth. He can tell you how he can go about it, how he can do it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial expert. I give general advice, but I point people into the right direction to the qualified people that can do that. And that's the way I suggest people to go and look at it. You know, don't take it gospel off everybody that's on YouTube or they know. I know what I know because I've lived here for 12 years. But can it be written in stone? Probably not. I always point you into the direction to the people that actually know 100%. Same with the immigration. Lots of people are scared of the immigration. I can give loads of advice with the immigration, how you can work around the system legally, of course. I'll never do anything illegally here. You can work around the system and you can get your visas, you know, without using an agent. Also legal, and it's not impossible to do, even if you're on a low income. So there's always ways and means of doing it. I've lived here for 12 years. I know the system and I know what works and what doesn't work. And I've helped many people to be able to do that. I'm planning on moving to Pak Chong. Yeah, well, I say that's Chak Pong. We live at Chak Pong, but Pak Chong, I've heard of Pak Chong. Can't remember where it is. Hi, Les, how's the new bike? The bike is fantastic. Love the bike. It's brilliant. Apart from the speed, it's still a bit dull. But then again, over here, we only do 40 or 50 kilometers an hour anyway. So it's not as if I was in England at the minute and there's 20-mile-an-hour speed limits and 30-mile-an-hour speed limits because there's speed cameras everywhere. Over here, it's just, you could actually do without a speedo over here, and you know, you wouldn't be breaking any laws. So yeah, the new bike is fantastic. I love it. It's coming up for its first clean at the minute. We've had it over a month now and we haven't even washed it yet. So it needs a wash now because it got dirty the other day. But yeah, the bike is fantastic. I love the bike. I would recommend anybody to get one. If I was totally and utterly truthful, I would probably say go for the one without the ABS brakes. It's about 7,000 or 8,000 baht cheaper. Listening to all the other people who've got one and who've had one, the ABS are meant for like the performance bike, so you can stop in a hurry because you're going at quite a lick. You know, when you're doing 40 to 50, 60 kilometers an hour, it's like driving Miss Daisy. It's only slow. So some people say the ABS probably isn't worth the extra money with the speeds that I go, and I totally get that. And the other click that we had just had the assisted brakes where it's 60% on the back and 40% on the front, and we never had any trouble with that. So for those people who just want to drive around for local, not going for long distances and things like that, I would maybe go for the cheaper 160 Honda Click 160, but without the ABS brakes. But that's if you want to save a little bit of money. That was 72. I think it was 64 without the ABS. If I'm totally honest and totally truthful, that's what I would say. But love the bike anyway. Bill Simpson, hello Les, how are you, my friend? I'm okay, thanks very much, Bill. Always welcome to see you on here, mate. Thanks very much for joining. Is the price of leasing land fixed for 30 years or is there any annual increase? No, I believe it's fixed for 30 years, 30 years, 30 years. It works slightly different than what it does in the UK. For instance, and here's an example. Let me just have another cup of coffee. There are many discussions on here, and generally that, the guys, because you can't own a house here. Well, you can own the house, but you can't own the land that it sits on. And many people get lose everything. But it's like everything else. Do your research. There are ways and means of not losing your house to your Thai wife or Thai girlfriend in Thailand, where you still have not ownership, but you have the right to live there. And one of them is the 30 plus 30 plus 30 year lease. For instance, I'm buying this house on a rent to buy system, so that sort of doesn't affect me because I'm on a rent to buy. So I don't actually own the house until we pay the last payment. And my wife doesn't own the house. The landlady still owns the house, but we went through a legal agreement and we've got that all sorted out. So that's slightly different. But for instance, if I bought this house, then the name of the house goes in joint names, myself and my wife. But I could lease this land off my wife and for 30 plus 30 plus 30. So if anything ever happened to me and the wife, I will always be allowed to live and use this land and the house for the 30 plus 30 plus 30. It's a lawyer thing, and it's way of doing, and it's a perfectly 100% legal way of doing it. So that guarantees that you do not lose the right to live in your own house that you've bought, and you do it on a lease agreement as opposed to a freehold agreement. But again, anybody that wants a lawyer to verify what I'm saying, then please send me an email and I'll send you the lawyer, and he can give you the information that you request or require. But there are legal methods of being able to protect yourself whilst living here in Thailand. Again, owning a condo is totally different because you can actually own a condo in your own name. Now we've looked at some buildings where you can just get it delivered on the back of a truck, and it's like a knockdown house, if you like. Some people call them knockdown houses, but like teak houses or houses that like prefabricated and they just come bolt them together. Now there's some nice houses, and I'm going to do a video on a couple of them, not too far away from where we live. They build these kit houses and they just deliver them and install them. So basically, I mean, we've got land next door to us that belongs to our landlady's daughter. And if we wanted to, we could actually lease that land. So we don't actually own the land. We could lease the land off her on a long-term lease, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever years. It's up to you and the landlady or the landlord. And we can put the house on that land. So there's ways and means of doing it. And that's another video that's going to come along on suggested ways if you don't actually want to buy anything, or if you lease the land, so you can just lease the land, it's cheaper than if you're going to buy the land. But for instance, if the land is $1 million baht and you pay $1 million baht, you still pay the $1 million baht, but there's a signature that you've leased the land off the landlady, and it's still legally your land, but you can actually sell that land for $1 million baht or whatever. There's some fee it has to pay, maybe 1,000 baht a year or something like that, just to set the agreement up. But there are ways and means of doing it. So it sounds complicated, but it isn't. It's quite easy. But for those people who are worried about buying something and losing everything, it can be done. You just look into it. The people who lose everything are the people that don't do the research and believe, the Thai girlfriend or the Thai wife. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other. Or I love them so much, she's different. She's never going to do that to me. And then, then something goes wrong. Nothing is certain in this life. Absolutely nothing. So protect yourself in this country and every other country. But Thailand is renowned for people, or certainly guys, losing everything over here. So take care. Oh, that was it. Hopefully a good discussion on how to do it. It was sort of a bit long-winded maybe, but it can be done. Is there annual, not as I say, the annual increase? No, you discuss it with the landlord or landlady. Hi, I was curious for your pontificate viewing on Thailand or Philippines. A lot of expats say English-speaking people make their transition so much easier. Now, I've never lived in the Philippines, but I've talked to many people in the Philippines. And a lot of people still prefer Thailand to the Philippines, even though there's a lot more English spoken in the Philippines. The drugs, the crime, the infrastructure, the roads, the internet isn't as good in the Philippines, so I'm told, as it is in Thailand. So it's like, you go and live in the Philippines for a little while and to see what you think. But I've talked to a couple of Americans who went to the Philippines for 6 months and then came back here, and they said, nice place, but they don't want to live there. I mean, when you have armed guards outside the 7-Eleven, it doesn't instill much confidence in you that it's going to be a safe place to live. Okay. Khao Yai National Park, it's beautiful. We drive up that way when we go to Ploy's farm. It's a beautiful road and it's a beautiful area up in the mountains. It really, there's some beautiful places in Thailand. Thailand is quite a vast place, and in between everywhere there's some beautiful places. It's like this Christmas and New Year we're going up to a place called Ban Rak Thai, which is probably almost the northernest point of Thailand, so I've been told. And it's a 19-hour drive from where we live. So we're going to stay at Pai for Christmas and then Chiang Mai for New Year, and Ban Rak Thai in between, before, after, or during. But we're planning to be away for about a month for Christmas and New Year this year, and it's always going to be up in the Chiang Mai, Pai, and Ban Rak Thai area. But that's right up in the mountains, in the tea farms. We're going to stop on the properties on the tea farms, overlooking the beautiful mountains. Can't wait, it's beautiful. We've just actually come back off a little holiday. We went to Koh Kud again. But again, I'll come on about that a little bit later on. So, retired on the beach. Greetings from Koh Samui. Hot and sticky, lovely. Koh Samui, it's always got a special place in my heart, because that's the island that actually changed my life and changed my view of thinking. I was at my downest, if you like, because I was going through a divorce and then bankruptcy, and then Koh Samui. I met somebody on Koh Samui that showed me people with nothing were more happy than I was, with, working 4 jobs and 3 houses almost to get me 4th. And I'm thinking, these people have nothing and they're much happier than me. So Koh Samui has always got a special place in my heart. I love the place. It's a beautiful place. Soy Dog, good morning from a cold UK. Good morning from a cold UK. It's March. You should be getting a little bit warmer now. But then the clocks go back, is it? Yeah, you go back next week or the week after, something like that. Montana's Tyler retiring. Please, everyone, give a thumbs up and help Les. Oh, yeah, we've got 42 people and 17 thumbs up. So we're getting there. Yet, actually, the thumbs up and the conversation and the chat, things like that, goes to the YouTube algorithm and things like that. So thanks very much for the people who give us the thumbs up and things like that. And if you do find it helpful, my channel, well, then consider subscribing. It's free. And it'll get me towards the 10,000, which I'm going to give a prize for when I get to the 10,000 subscribers. So I should get to 10,000 by July, August, or something like that, I expect. But I'm almost on 9,600, so there's only 400 and so many to go anyway. So we're getting there. And it's all thanks to you people who watch this channel and help support it. And I appreciate everybody. And those people that do write to the comments, I try my hardest to reply to everybody, but some of the videos that I've done with 48,000 views, I might get a couple of thousand comments or something like that, and it's sort of an impossibility to answer every one of them. So I'll go through it quickly and I'll reply to majority of them. But majority of videos that I get, I might have 1,000 or 2,000. So I nearly answer every single person's comments and things like that. So thank you very much, and I look forward to your comments, and I look forward to what you have to say, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Please keep it civil. I'm not the guru who knows everything, but I do make mistakes also. But I listen to both sides of the story, so I'm not always correct. So if other people have different views, no problem. It all helps my balanced view and for everybody else who watches the channel for balancing my views against everybody else. I like to think that I'm honest and open, and I give good and impartial information. I don't charge for any of the videos. I don't charge for like a Patreon or a free or members area and things like that. Everything that I do is free. Anyway, that's blowing my own trumpet. So thanks very much for those people who are watching. So 27 thumbs up now. Thank you very much. That's another 10 thumbs up. 28. Thanks very much. Okay, let's go on there, right? Looking for a live chat. Hope all well with you and your family. Looking forward to catching up with you when I got back over there on the 7th of May. God bless you. Thanks very much. 7th of May. It's not too far away now, is it? Evening, Les. Hope you're well. It's my birthday today. 58-year-old today. Oh, 58-year-old. That was a while ago for me, that. So happy birthday. Happy birthday. Was it Oz? Good day, Les. I just came back from contentment last week. I was really impressed with what I saw of Rayong. It was my first time there. I think you have found a great location for retirement. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Contentment is a lovely place. It's on our doorstep, 30 minutes away. But we went to a place called Kokud, which is maybe it's nearly 5 hours away by the time you catch your ferry and things like that. And Contentment is a lovely place, but Kokud was a lovely place as well. There's so many nice places over here. And again, I'm going to come on to Kokud a little bit later on. My notes are disappearing. So, okay, right, where we are. 12 minutes past 4. Okay, you're always down to earth and enjoyable to hear about your life. Thanks very much. I've always been down to earth. I've always been, my feet are on the ground, if you like. I don't give any BS. I tell it how it is. Now, sometimes that can be a good thing. Sometimes it can be a bad thing. It's like with some of my subscribers that I've had, I don't sort of pull any punches. I tell it how it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And sometimes people don't like to hear the ugly part of it. But what I hope for is by telling the ugly parts of living here in Thailand, you know, people don't get burnt and, you know, they can live a happy life here. Because believe me, I've talked to many people who've been burnt here in Thailand in the 12 years that I've lived here. So if I can stop somebody from losing a fortune, then that makes my inner feeling that I've helped somebody not lose everything, which is fantastic. Right. Left from Rachel. Like GBT, Thai baht exchange rate seems to be on the up. Yeah, 45.60 or 45.70. It's still a long way when it used to be 50.51. Hear that in the background? That's the skydiver's airplane. You might be able to see it in the background. Maybe he's not. But yeah, the skydiver's plane comes over maybe 20 times a day now. But it's good to see. I like, because when I'm watching over in that direction, you actually see the skydivers jumping. I've got a pair of binoculars, so you can actually see them jump out of the plane, free fall for about 40 or 50 seconds, and the parachute opens. And I've actually been, and I've done a video on the skydiving place near me, and it's lovely. It's good to see. It's exciting. I've jumped out of an airplane once. I used to do paragliding, so I like it. It's an exhilarating sport. Les, what's your view on solar panel setup and adding a new build with pool? I think solar is the way to go. Thailand, we get a lot of sunshine in Thailand, but the payback time is still between 6 and 8 years because electricity over here is so cheap. Our electricity bill here is 10 to 15 pounds a month. Yeah, 10 to 15 pounds a month. So does it warrant spending a lot of money on solar panels, you know, to save, for me personally, 10 or 15 pounds a month? Now, there's other guys that I know, their electricity bill is like 100 to 150 pounds a month because they use air conditioning a lot. I'm fortunate that I can live without air conditioning. My wife doesn't like air conditioning on in the bedroom, so I've got used to it being warm. Our bedroom temperature on a night, it is 31, between 30 and 31. And like the outside temperature today now is 32.1. So that's only like a couple of degrees cooler than what it is now. But we have fans, and that's all we have. And for me, I'm happy with that. You know, we're cool with that. Now, I have got a bit of a solar setup, and I've done a couple of videos on it. And I sort of supplement my electricity with a couple of solar panels. They're only two 80-watt panels, but one of them works off what's called a grid tie inverter. So that puts up to maximum of 80 to 100 watts into our house all the time, because whilst the sun's shining, it goes into the property. Then I've got the other 80-watt panel going to my battery backup system. So if the electricity goes off, and fully enough, the electricity's been off here 3 or 4 times in the past month, not for a long time, but that means we have internet, because with the Wi-Fi, we have the computer that works, TV, and a couple of fans. And again, that's a 100 amp hour battery and 180-watt solar panel. And up to now, touch wood, that's worked perfectly. So I would say, don't go whole hog to save money by using a solar system. Use it, or get a small package done so it's there for emergency backups, especially during the hot season now. You can imagine if the power goes off during the night, you've got no air conditioning or no fans or anything else like that, you'll cook, because we did it last year. And that's when I said to Ply, my wife, I said, I'm going to do something about this. We will never, ever be without fans again during the night. And the little system that I put together is probably about 10,000 baht, just over a couple of £100, but guaranteed we always have fans. And we've got the TV, and we've got the Wi-Fi, and we've got the internet and the computer. Couple of £100. It's worth its weight in gold when the power goes off. So yeah, solar. I like solar. I'm going to improve the solar system a little bit more. I've got a couple of more bulbs to put around the house, because the battery, 100 amp battery, there's plenty of power in that. And the 80-watt panel, for what I use at the minute, charges it up within the day, no problem. So yeah, solar is good. Swimming pool, things like that. Swimming pool, there's a lot of work to keep a swimming pool with no algae. The temperature increases the algae. Cleaning the pool, the filtration for the pool, that can add a lot of money with filtration pumps running type of thing. Everybody that I know that's got a pool, it's doubled, if trebled their electricity bill. So it'd be nice to have a pool, but I wouldn't want to pay the expense of, we have leaves coming in the pool and things like that, because we've lots of trees around here. So I can live without a pool. It's nice, and the people that have a pool, fantastic, but there's a lot of maintenance to go with a pool. But that's my opinion. Hot up here. See you having a nice breeze there. Yeah, there's a bit of a breeze. You can maybe see the trees in the background. There one's moving a little bit of a breeze, but I think it's because we live by the coast, there's always going to be a little bit of a breeze, and it's nice. In fact, last time I did the live stream, I had the fan on, and like today, don't need the fan on, because it's cooler, even though it's 31.9 centigrade now. Right, let's have a look. Les, you're missing a lot of people's comments. I know that they're whizzing through here type of thing, and I appreciate everybody's comments. I apologize if I miss people's comments, but replying to some people's comments, if I miss it, I apologize. Is it? If you can put a Q on the beginning of your comment, and then that means it's a question, then I'll catch it, because it'll come up as a Q on my comments. So if I do miss it because I'm explaining to somebody else's and other people are putting comments on and it's scrolling through, I apologize, but I will get to your comments, and please, put it in again. It's not as if I'm trying to miss it. I'm trying to answer other people's comments as well. But 20 minutes into it, I haven't even got to what this live stream's about today yet, because I've been talking to people already. So, but whilst people have got comments or questions, fantastic, let it roll. Right, in bedroom I used to put the air conditioner on for an hour, then turn it up. Yeah, we used to do that, and then the air conditioning broke, so we never replaced it because it was like another 15,000 baht to replace the air conditioning, and we've got used to just the 2 fans, which is good. But I've also put a ceiling fan in the the kitchen, which sucks all of the hot air out. Once the sun goes down type of thing, the air outside is a little bit cooler than the air inside. I put this fan on, and it works like a whole house fan, but it's only a small fan. But I'm going to put one of them in the bedroom as well, because I'm impressed. It does actually cool, gets rid of that hot air. That's the barrier type of thing, and it does work. I feel if it works anyway. So I was going to put one in the bedroom. Then if we close the door around dusk time, and that will suck any of the hot air out in the bedroom before we actually go to bed. So hopefully that'll be coming along. But I might be buying a solar panel fan for that as well, to be able to do that with a little bit of a battery backup. We shall see. Same here, air conditioning, electric, cooking, 300, 500 baht per month. 4-bedroom house. Yeah, again, as electricity it's cheap over here, but it still can be 150 to 200 pounds a month if you're used to getting the air conditioning all the time. Okay, Bill Simpson question: where can you fly to and from Rayong Airport, Les? Udapau is the airport. It's called. It's sort of in Satahip. It's in between Rayong and Pattaya. Udapau Airport, and with Udapau you can fly to Phuket, you can fly to Koh Samui, you can fly up to Chiang Mai, I believe, and it's classed as an international airport. I think it has some direct flights to Russia as well, so I don't particularly know, but have a look at Udapau, see whether you can fly directly in Udapau. Question, Les, any chance you could put a video together for the system you use when the electric drops out? Yeah, I've already done a video on that. I forget what it's called. I think battery backup system or something like that. But I've already done that. I've done quite a few solar panel or solar videos. So yeah, I've already done that. Chris, if you have a look at my videos, you'll see the solar power one. And again, 10,000, and I explain exactly how it works, and with the grid tie system and the normal system, the battery backup. So yeah, have a look at that. It drops out that situation last year, and I had to sleep in the car for a few hours. Yeah, my wife had to have a shower with the water outside because she was just so hot. 3 o'clock in the morning. So the question: hi Les, is 50,000 baht a month really enough to live on in Thailand? I'm thinking living in Udon Thani. Yes, it is. I've done quite a few videos. 50,000 baht, you're sort of on the limit, really. It's the sweet spot. But I've also done videos living on 35,000 baht a month, which is roughly what the UK state pension is. And believe it or not, you can still live a reasonable lifestyle here on 35,000 baht a month. Now, I've gone through all that for your accommodation and things like that. And there's a couple of elderly gentlemen that I know live just on their state pension. And one of them, he likes his alcohol. So he's a very sociable guy, but he goes to various bars and he has his weekly entertainment, if you like. And that's all inclusive in his money. He manages very well. He's quite a sociable guy, and he's out virtually every night. But he lives on that amount of money as a single guy. It's going to be more difficult for holidays and things like that. But when you live in it, look at this blue sky. I'm going to do a video a little bit later on in the next week or 2 weeks about no going back to the UK. Once this occurs to the people in Australia, America, Canada, and things like that. Also, is that if you bite the bullet and come and live in Thailand, there is probably no going back to your home country because of costs and things like that. And I've been doing some research with regard to how you get back onto the benefit system in the UK for housing benefit and benefits you get if you're on such a low income, such as your state pension. It's not easy. It is not easy. Unless, of course, you arrive on a rubber boat from France, then you get money thrown at you. But any other time, it is not easy. But I'm going to do a video on that, and I've looked into it. And for anybody who actually wants to have a look, I'll give the website address that you can actually look at for those people who might be interested. So ageuk.org.uk. So for those people who sort of want to preempt the video, this is a good video. It's a good information for those people who are thinking about moving back to the UK, or it's something to consider if you move here. If it goes, not quite the way you want it to go and you want to go back to the UK, ageuk.org.uk has a list of things, what you need to do to be able to get back onto the benefit system, how to get back onto the NHS system, your likelihood of claiming benefits, what you can claim for and what you can't claim for. It's a fantastic resource, but I'm going to do a video on that later on. But for those people who want to discuss that in the first place, then it's a way of doing it. Here's a link. I came across the tax in Thailand. First 50,000 Thai baht can be deducted if you're over 65 before you start paying tax. Yeah, but is that actually in law? I've seen nothing in law as yet. There's a lot of speculation that this and that and the other. I mean, for instance, your retirement visa, you have to have 65,000 baht coming in already. So therefore, if that's 65,000, like for me, my pension is already being taxed. So there are countries that have reciprocal tax agreements. So the sort of law is that you cannot be taxed twice on the same amount of money. So that's what I'm saying. It's still up in the air yet. There's still a lot of problems. So I think there is nothing, as far as I looked yesterday, there is nothing in writing to say this is what it is. And until that happens, I think it's people just speculation on this and that and the other. So my advice is just wait and see. Here we are in March now, and it still hasn't been sorted out, and it's supposed to be implemented on the 1st of January this year. So let's just wait and see. Yeah, but 50,000 baht a month you can live on for sure. A couple of guys that I've been talking to are looking between 45 and 60,000 baht a month. And I've gone through the figures with them, and I've shown them how they can spend the money, how they can survive on that amount of money, what it costs for accommodation, what it costs for transportation, the visas, the different ways of doing it, where you pay an agent, and if you can do it without an agent, which is a lot cheaper, because using an agent, first year is between 29 and 49,000. And then after that's between 12 and 15,000 to renew it every year. And you don't need to have any money in the bank. You don't have to show anything. The agent does all the work for you. But if you can manage to do it yourself, you cost 1,900 baht for the visa every year. And you can do it yourself. It's not impossible. You might have to do one or two more things, but it's not difficult to do for 1,900 baht per year, compared to if you get an agent to do it on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th year or whatever, between 12 and 15,000. I'd sooner go for the 1,900 baht. I've only ever used an agent once whilst I was in this country in 12 years, and that's because I had to. because my pension statement hadn't come through and my visa needed to be renewed. And as it was, I got told by the immigration I could have used last year's pension letter, so therefore I wouldn't have had to use an agent. But hey ho, you learn something every day. Yeah, did you say no money in the bank? I said yes, no money in the bank. If you use an agent, you don't need any money in the bank, and you don't have to show how much you're bringing into the country every month. But if you do it yourself, then you can still apply for your retirement visa on the income method. So that is bringing in 65,000 baht every month. Let's face it, when all's said and done, you need money to live on anyway. So you are bringing a certain amount of money into this country anyway. So one of my methods is the recycle method. But anybody wants to chat and talk about this, my various methods, which are all legal and above board, you can have a chat with me. I do a $10 consultation, and if you get the information that you want, you give me $10 by giving me a cup of coffee. And if you don't get the information you want, then you don't have to buy me a cup of coffee anyway. So it's a win-win situation. So I don't charge anything for it. It's just, it could be, ask any questions you want. Just send me an email. We'll have a face-to-face chat with WhatsApp or something like that, and you can ask any questions you want. But yeah, there's ways of doing it without having money put in the bank and without you showing anything coming from abroad by using an agent. But if you do it yourself, there is some paperwork you have to fill out, and there is some things that you have to show the immigration, but it's not difficult. There are, I think, outside of the box, and all of my solutions are thinking outside the box, a play on words, but it works 100% because there are many people doing it. The numerous times that I need to know for sure. Hi Les, are you expat? Yeah, I'm in the Pattaya Expats Club, but now I live in Rayong, so I don't actually go there often now. In fact, I haven't been there for a number of years, but I did a couple of talks at the Pattaya Expats Club a number of years ago, but which I enjoyed to do. But again, I live an hour and a half away from Pattaya. Maybe I should contact them and actually be one of their speakers again for a couple of sessions, because the talks that I did was about the driving standards in Thailand and various bits and pieces. So yeah, I've always got something to say, and I'm sure the Expats Club would have me back again because they've had me back twice there already. Yeah, there's things I can't talk about on here for obvious reasons. Like I won't give any advice on lawyers, I won't give her any advice on visa agents, and I won't give her any advice on how I go about doing these things. But people who send me an email, I can direct them to these people who do that. There is nothing illegal about the people who do whatever they do. Even the visa agents technically aren't illegal. Many people many years ago have said that the visa agents are going to be disbanded, they're going to go away. But in reality, I've been here 12 years. There's more visa agents now than there was 10 years ago, for sure. So visa agents are here to stay. They do nothing illegal. They wave their magic wand, and they can overcome many obstacles. So visa agents have their way, but the immigration service are there to help you and will help and guide you through the system. It's not difficult, but the visa agents make everything go a lot simpler. But if you've got the money for it, pay for it. But if you don't have the money, doing a little bit more work yourself, and let's face it, because you're retired, you've got the time and effort and patience to be able to do it. So no problem. And I've helped many people skirt around the system without paying the visa agents. But I do use I send people to I've got a couple of visa agents that I send people to, and I get no commission from it whatsoever. I get no kickbacks whatsoever. So this is why, same with the assisted living, I get no kickbacks off anybody whatsoever. So I can send people, so I can give a true evaluation, because I'm getting nothing for it. My compensation for all of this lot is the fact that somebody buys me a cup of coffee, I can give unbiased, talking about anything, and I can send it. And for me, it's content for my channel that I can send somebody to X, Y, or Z. Okay, where else have we got? Would like to know what one you are using to help me out on that. Can you send a link to a good one? Oh, what's this for? Is this for a visa agent? Yeah, just send me an email and I'll send you the information to the visa agents that I use, or that I send people to, should say. Yeah, visa again. There are some good stories and bad stories about visa agents. Yeah, there are some good visa. I mean, there was a story last year, I think it was, over 200 people lost a lot of money using a visa agent down in Phuket, and lost all the money, but nothing came of it. Absolutely nothing was in the news about these people using visa agents, that they'd been scammed or whatever. They all got their visas, with the sound of it. Some of them lost their passports and something like that. Some of these news events make the news, but you never see what actually happens to it. But if you're going to use a visa agent, it's best to use what somebody recommends, or somebody says use this, use that, or use the other. Because again, there's a couple of visa agents have started for 1 or 2 years and then finished. So, they haven't got the consistency. So go on like Rayong Expats Group, Pattaya Expats Group, Phuket Expats Group, and things like that, and ask the question and get the information. Same with Chiang Mai. No matter which province you live in, if you join the Facebook Expats Group or something like that, people will give you recommendations of where you can go, and invariably 90% of the time it'll be no problems. Right. Are doctors cheap in Thailand? Yes, they are. I'll give you an example. Doctors, I had a little mark on there, and my mother had skin cancer. So I had one on there, and I had one on my arm and one on my back. So I decided to go to the doctors or the hospital and get it checked out. And I'd done a video about this as well, the skin cancer. And I had, funny enough, Asian people don't suffer from skin cancer, not like us Westerners. So to find a skin cancer specialist in Thailand is quite difficult. So you have to go to the best hospital, which is the Bangkok hospitals. Now, we went to see a Bangkok hospital, and we went to see a doctor, a skin care specialist doctor there. And he examined and he said, I don't think it's cancer. I said, well, I don't think. I said, I want to know for 100%. He said, well, we can do it by doing a biopsy, sending away and bringing it back. He said, you'll get the results in a week. So I was in there for altogether 3 hours with the consultation and the biopsy and coming out with the medication and stuff like that. And then the result the following week, I was in there 30 minutes and everything was done. The whole cost was 8,000 baht. And that was to go to the best hospital and get the biopsy, which took all of 5 minutes to do. It was nothing, totally painless. So 8,000 to go and see a doctor to get a skin cancer and the biopsy done, to be told 100% it wasn't skin cancer. I also got my car service last week or the week before at Nissan. That was almost 9,000 baht to get my car serviced. So, seeing a doctor over here isn't expensive at all. Treatment, operations and things like that can be very expensive, but going to see a doctor isn't expensive. And if you go to the public hospitals, it's even cheaper. Like my wife, a few months ago, she had an incessant cough and she just couldn't get rid of it. So we went to the hospital, public hospital, 11 o'clock on the evening. We were in and out in an hour and a half, 500 baht to see the doctor and the medication. So in an hour and a half. So yes, seeing a doctor is cheap in Thailand. Visa agents make it harder for proper people and will come to an end soon. You must know this. They've been saying this for 12 years that I've been here. The visa agents aren't illegal. They do what they do. And visa agents over here, in my opinion, will never end. So you can debate it, you can talk about it, but people said to me 10 years ago, visa agents, they're done. You ain't going to come here. There's more visa agents now than there was 10 years ago. So they'll never ever, in my opinion, they'll never ever come to an end. But the way that I recommend people to do what I can recommend to do, you don't need a visa agent, and it's probably, yeah, it's more reliable than using a visa agent on the methods that I use, but not illegal. I wouldn't tell anybody to do anything illegal over here at all, because I love living in this country and I'll never leave it. Trust you. Okay. Kevin, visa agents will never come to an end. All about the money. Well, it's all about the brown envelopes. We live in a country that exists on brown envelopes. Brown envelopes make the wheels of living here for anybody and everything. It works. It is, everybody knows there is a little bit of brown envelopes going about for everything in Thailand, and at least they're sort of open and honest about it over here. If you can be open and honest about that, compared to the UK, where it doesn't happen. Things like that don't happen, says the PPE scandal that, you know, bypassed and made £64 million profit on something that nobody could ever use. So we don't do things like that in the UK. We don't. There's no corruption in the UK. Thailand, you know, there's brown envelopes involved. And living in Rome, you do as the Romans do. And living in Thailand, do as the Thais do. I'll end on that one. What was the Bangkok hospital in Pattaya that you went to a skin checkup? It was the Bangkok hospital in Rayong. But any of the Bangkok hospitals have the top doctors there for anything and everything, really. So it's not expensive. You can go and get checkups, things like that. For those people, I've got many suggestions for those people who don't have insurance and things like that. How you can go on an annual checkup, even if you do it every 2 or 3 years or something like that, for between 20 and 25,000 baht, you sort of get a full body scan or full body checkup. And if there is anything wrong, it's being picked up early. So you can either go back to your home country and get treated for it, or you can start treatment here. But 20 to 25,000 baht isn't a lot to pay to get an early diagnosis of something that's going wrong, for those people who can't afford to pay the health insurance. And there are many people who do not have health insurance here. I mentioned earlier on that I did a talk at the Expats Club in Pattaya, and we did a quick survey. There was 120 people there, and 70% of the people that were there didn't have health insurance at the Expats Club in Pattaya, where I went and did a talk. This is going back maybe it's 8 or 9 years or so ago now, but 70% of the people did not have medical insurance. So it's a big thing over here. Let's have a look. Selling everything, 225 Thailand. Okay, right. We are 3/4 of an hour into it. Now I'm going to go. I'll mention the things I'm going to talk about in this video. Pensions. I'm going to talk about pensions, UK pensions. I did a video about how you can unfreeze your pension, because once you move over to Thailand, for those people who don't know it, that your pensions are locked at the time that you claim your pensions for. So if you move over to Thailand, your pensions are frozen. But there is a way, again, legal way, and I've looked into this, and I've had a few emails from people to say, who doubted what I said, and now they've turned around and said, yes, Les, you're 100% correct. And I've done a video on that. 5,700 people have looked at it, I think, at the last score. And you can unfreeze your bank. There are ways and means of unfreezing your pension, again, legally. I'll do everything legally. So there's a legal way of unfreezing your pension. It means a bit of work, but it's like everything else. They always put hoops in your way. We're going to talk a little bit about no going back. Once you pull the trigger and you come and live here, this goes for the Americans, the Australians, Canadians, British, whatever. It's very, very difficult. Once you pull the plug and you come and live here full time, and once you've been here for 5 years, going back to your home country, it is almost impossible. Cheap Charlies. Cheap Charlies. What is a cheap Charlie? Living as a cheap Charlie, and a cheap Charlie being a cheap Charlie, with some examples. First time in Thailand, some common mistakes that people make. The visas, again, the 90-day reporting. Somebody asked me to do a video on the 90-day reporting, and I did a step-by-step online video to do an online 90-day reporting, which is easy. But so many people said, well, I don't know, don't. So I give a video on the link that you go to for more information to help you go through the post. And I did a step-by-step 90-day online report, and it was my 90-day online, and I did a step-by-step. It's a simple video, but again, I've had quite a few people comment on it, said it's probably the easiest video to follow. So I thank for all those people who commented and said it was helpful. Hot season, which is now, and Songkran. So that's the type of things I'd like to discuss over the next couple of hours. I usually go on for about 3 hours, and we have been here for an hour now, an hour and 56 seconds to be precise. So these are the things that we're going to go through. So again, anybody's got any questions, just put a Q at the beginning of it and write the question. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through my list here, and then I'll do the list, and then I'll look for questions on there. So again, as somebody already mentioned, I've missed a few comments, and I apologize about that. But trying to answer somebody else's comments, I may miss your question. So please don't be offended that I'm missing your questions on purpose. It's just that I'm trying to answer somebody else's question. And if I miss it, put it there again, and I will answer the questions. So going on to about the Pensions UK. I've already mentioned that if you live in Thailand, because it's not a reciprocal country with a UK state pension, your pension is frozen. So therefore, you don't get any rises. Now, there are people who turn around and say, well, I live at my sister's house, I live in my uncle's house, I live in my ex-wife's house and things like that. No problem. You can say that. You can absolutely say that if you want to say that. But the Department of Works and Pensions can look, if they think you are defrauding the pensions department, and by living in Thailand you are defrauding the pensions 100%, because you are not living in the UK for 185 days a year, so therefore your pension is and will be frozen. And if you're not living in the UK for the 185 days, you are then defrauding the Department of Work and Pensions. So because if they suspect fraud, they can look into your bank account. They can have access to your bank account and to see where you've been sending money to. They can look at your passport details, and that your passport details will tell the Department of Work and Pensions exactly where you've been on your passport for them amount of days. The Department of Work and Pensions can freeze your pension and take back what they've overpaid you. So for those people who say, oh, you can do this, you can do it, is it worth the risk? When there are other options of being able to claim them pension rises back. It's not the best, and it's not the simplest, and it's going to cost a little bit of money, and it does involve a little bit of work, but it's better than having your pension stopped and having fraud against your name, because that may even hinder you getting a retirement visa here because of fraud, because the Thai government don't like anybody who has a criminal record, and being defrauding the government of money is a criminal records account. So take it easy, take care, look at everything and anything that you do. So I was proved 100% right in the information that I give on the video with regard to pensions. So for instance, the nearest reciprocal country here is the Philippines. And I use the example, for instance, if your pension has been frozen since 2019, 2020. Here we are, 2024. Your pension rise has gone up to by 24%. Now it's worthwhile doing the calculations. Now it's worthwhile going to live in the Philippines. And I use an example again of £1,000 a month. Some people said, oh, it's going to cost too much money. But in reality, you're going to get a £279 a month pay rise the minute you go to the Philippines. That pays for your accommodation. You still have to buy food. You still have to have transport. So the £1,000 that you're spending in Thailand, you've still got the same £1,000 to spend in the Philippines, because they're almost paying you for the full cost of your accommodation. And to fly from Thailand to the Philippines is 150 quid. It's £40 a month for the visa. So in reality, it's another 1,000 quid it's going to cost you, plus the accommodation and things like that, which already the government are going to pay for you. So if you've got accommodation here also in Thailand and you're paying for it, so if you're paying the same amount of money, you're getting compensated for that anyway. And I'm going to do another video with calculations and examples of where you can live and how you can do it and how much it's going to cost you and the payback time. For instance, many people have turned around and said to me in the comment section, said it's not worth it. 10 years, if you live another 10 years after getting this, you get £27,350 back in 10 years. Isn't it worth it? Look at the bigger picture. Don't just look at the small picture. Yes, it's going to cost you a little bit of money in the first year. You are going to get all of that money back after about 18 months. Anything after 18 months, it's in your favor. You are going to win. And like, look at it, a 10-year period, another 27,350 in your back pocket. Wouldn't you sooner have that? Of course you are. And there are ways and means of doing it. But will people do it? There's going to be a lot of people who don't. But there's going to be a lot of people who look at it and think, I could do that. So that's the pensions. Have a look at the video. Have a look at the video, and it goes into details as to how much it's going to cost you and how much it's going to save you. I will do a video in the next week or 2 weeks with regards to exact costs, how much it's going to cost you in the Philippines. I've got some guy that I know in the Philippines who's going to give me some information for housing costs in a nice area. So you're not slumming it type of thing. You're not in a porky little condo for 6 months of the year. That is going to come within the next couple of weeks or so. So that was the pensions. Okay, let's me have a look at the back on the comments here. Yeah, your money does go further in Thailand. That's Scott Keane. Your money does go much further. I live a better lifestyle here than I would do in the UK. That's for sure. Hi, Les. Is it still possible to rent a 2-bedroom house in your area? It is possible, but at the minute, the landlady that we have, she usually has about 10 houses in our area. And they range from 8,000 up to 18,000. And at the minute, they're all rented. Everything is rented. The Ruskies are renting everywhere. The Ruskies have sort of invaded Thailand and they've just spread about. And of course, they're looking for cheap rents, because if they're here for a long term, which they are going to be, I presume, and I think it's just going to get worse, or not worse, but the Ruskies are moving out from all the bigger places to the cheaper places. So there's even poor Russians who obviously need to have rental properties and things like that. And they are taking up a lot of the cheap properties because they're looking around. And I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. But rental accommodation has sort of gone through the roof in the whole of Thailand. So, yeah, if you've got rental property in Thailand at the minute, you're probably in a good position, because there's the supply and demand. There's more supply than, there is more demand than there is supply. So yeah, but it's still possible between 10 and 15,000 in the area that I live, for sure. In fact, there's a nice 2-bedroomed bungalow just around the corner from me. On a monthly basis, it's 10,000 baht, and it's got a communal pool, and it's a 2-bedroom, and it's a nice bungalow on a resort complex with 12 other bungalows. So it's very, very nice. But you do need transport where you live, where I do. You need at least a motorbike to get around places. So yes, it is still possible to get nice accommodation in my area. Are there any examples of a 30-year lease being renewed for an additional 30 years? I'd be very curious to know. For most of us older guys, it's more simple. Yes, it is. I mean, yeah, that's sort of the normal 30 plus 30 plus 30. But again, send me an email, and I'll give you the the lawyer that deals with such things, and he'll tell you exactly what goes on and how it is available and how you can do it. Because the minute I paid the last payment on this house, because then that goes from the legal contract that we got to the wife, it goes into my wife's name. She's okay with this, to protect my own self as well. I'll be just under 70 when I actually pay for this house. So 130-year lease takes me to 100. So once I'm past 100, whether I'm still going to be here or whether I'm going to be dribbling a wheelchair or dribbling on that sofa overlooking this view, I'll be happy seeing my dying days looking at this view. So yes, it is possible, and I fully understand, and I agree with your sentiments exactly. You need to take care. You are number one. If your wife or your girlfriend doesn't like what you're doing, move another girlfriend to another wife or wherever, because at the end of the day, you have to look after yourself first before anybody else. So yeah, send me an email and I'll send you the link to the lawyer, and he'll be able to tell you exactly how much it's going to cost and what the implications are. But yeah, 30 plus 30 plus 30 is normal. Leslie, your video on the 90-day reporting is very easy to do online, but that's after you have done your first reporting in person. Yeah, that's true. You've got to do your first reporting in person. Then after that, you can just do everything online. Now, funny enough, the reason why you've got to do the first one in person, this is where a lot of the scare stories started from. And this is why sometimes the agents scare you a little bit, and they will say, well, for another couple of $1,000 a year, we'll do all your 90-day reporting. Now, officially, if you have the 800,000 baht in your bank account, you have to have it in, season it for 2 months before you apply for it, then 3 months afterwards. And funny enough, the first 3 months, which is the 90 days, first reporting, the immigration people can say, right, we want to have a look at your bank book to make sure that 800,000 baht is in your bank book, is in the bank. And of course, if you use an agent, the 800,000 baht is in your account for about 3 minutes and then it's out. So it's obvious that it's being put in and taken out of your bank book. Now, the agents tell you, well, to sort of avoid this embarrassment, we'll do your 90 days for you, but we'll charge you for doing your 90 days. So that's why you have to do your first 90 days reporting on your visas, or one of the reasons. But again, there are some people that I know that had a note clipped to their passport saying, on your next 90-day report, you have to come into the office. We want to see your bank book to make sure that the 800,000 baht, that was a couple of years ago now, and thankfully that's never happened again. But boy, did it frighten quite a few people, all of this, what happened. So yeah, once you do your first report, then you can do your 90 days online, which is super simple. And thanks very much for agreeing with me that it's actually easy to do. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope it was informative. Trust nothing, put your money into Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin can go up and down as well, can't it? It's not a guaranteed. Any investment can go up or down. You can lose a lot of money. Hoping to go to July to Bang Sarai down south and go to Chiang Rai. Again, I say Thailand, there's many, many beautiful places. Enjoy. Hope you have a successful trip, and I hope you enjoy it because it's a beautiful place. Trust, make sure you join Expat Club. They will help you. Yeah, the Expat Club is good. I was a member of 2 expats clubs in Pattaya, and they're a good bunch of people. It's good for networking, and there's people there to help you. And the Expats Club have many different links to different people, to different organizations. So yeah, and also join the expats clubs in your area. Like I live in Rayong, so there's Rayong expats. So there's cars for sale, bikes for sale, houses to rent, and things like that. So the group of people is very informative, and you can ask whatever questions you want. Sometimes the answers can be a little bit, over the top, and there is still a lot of banter, you know, various questions that you ask, but you take the rough with the smooth, if you like. But the Expats Club is good. Wherever you get your information, YouTube is a fantastic resource for information as well. You know, just watch your different places, and you know, have a look at the YouTubers in the area that you're thinking of living. Right, what else have we got? Yeah, Bitcoin for about 4, unpredictable. Yeah. I said any investment can go up or down. Hi, Les, at work right now, but just wanted to say hello. Steve from the UK. Hello, Steve. Enjoy work. Work. I retired from work 14 years ago, and I never want to retire from being retired. I love it. Never bored. I've always got something to do. My days are full every single day. In fact, I don't know how I used to fit work in. Being retired is a wonderful thing. But I understand also some people who are bored by being retired. You've got to have something to do. Otherwise, you become a barstool warrior, and then the whole world is against you. So don't become an alcoholic barstool warrior who thinks the world owes them a living. It's an opportunity you've got to do other things apart from work. Work has already taken the best part of your life. Don't let it take over the golden years of your life. Don't live to work. Enjoy the golden years. Do the things. You've worked a long time to get to this position. And let's face it, getting old doesn't last very long. And you've got more years behind you than you have in front of you. So do what you can whilst you can for as long as you can, and retire as soon as you can is my view on that. You look great going for 70. Oh, I'm a long way from 70. I'm 64 in July. So I'm still a while away from 70. I'm confused. You said no money in the bank. Yeah, exactly. 100%. No money in the bank. The visa agents put the money in the bank for you. It's in your bank account for all of 3 or 4 minutes, and then it comes back out again. But it's enough for them to get the piece of paper from the bank to say there's 800,000 baht in your bank account. That's an agent thing. Everybody knows this type of thing, and it's not illegal because there's brown envelopes involved. But yeah, no money in the bank. What are your views on recent media reports on bad farangs? Seems every day a different story. And with Russian flooding into Thailand, I can see stricter immigration rules coming in. There are always bad farangs, no matter where you go. Drunkenness, bad-temperedness, you know, alcohol, drugs, things like that. A couple of them get highlighted. For my thoughts on the guy who kicked the doctor, if she was just a normal girl, nothing would have, you know, it would have been a 2-minute story. But because the fact that she was a doctor, there's a little bit more credence in that, you know, kicking a doctor type of thing. Was he stupid? Yes, he was stupid. Of course he's stupid. For me, if you're getting involved with an argument with a Thai person, it's always going to be your fault. If you have a car accident and somebody drives into the side of you, it's your fault because of Thai logic of it. The fact that you're a tourist here, and if you didn't live here, the accident would never happen. Now, there's some logic in that, because if you weren't here, the accident would never have happened. So, and it's like everything else, you know, once there's one bad report, it's just like the splatter effect, that every time somebody does something bad, it's going to make the news a little bit. But I'm sure there's plenty of scrapping going on, and fighting goes on, and bad behavior goes on throughout the whole of Thailand. It isn't just 3 or 4 events, but now they're just making an effort of it. There's a saying, bad people out, good people in. And, you know, with the Russians, they are causing a few problems throughout Thailand, and they always will, because there is a big influx of Russian people. And Russian people now, they call it Little Moscow down in Phuket. I would not want to live down in Little Russia, because Russian restaurants, Russian taxis, Russian estate agents, Russian gift shops, all sort of against the law. And the Thai immigration have done a few raids and arrested people for working without a work visa. The Russians are causing a bit of a problem in Thailand at the minute. And that's going to have a little bit of a backlash. And again, I think it's one of them things that because of the bad few, everybody else is going to pay. But it is Thailand. When all's said and done, if you keep your nose clean and you look after yourself and you don't get any bother, there's nothing to fear. But mess about with the wrong people, then, you're always going to look for bother, aren't you? Have you bought and sold Thai gold? Is it good investment in Thai? I don't know. I've never had the money, never had the spare money to be able to buy and sell gold. No, I have enough money to live on every month. That's where I live on every month. I've got no investments. I've got no shares. I've got no real savings. I've got a bit of emergency money, and that's it. So basically, I live on my pension, and that's all I live on. I'm on a spouse visa that expires 1 month after I return. On arrival, I'll get the 90-day stamp. Do I need to renew my spouse visa when it's due, or can I wait for the 90 days to expire? You need to do your spouse visa when it's due. Not your 90 days. Your 90 days is sort of a separate issue. For instance, like if you go away on holiday, your 90 days starts from when you come back off holiday. If you leave the country, that is. So, for instance, if my 90 days fell on the 1st of April, then I have to do my 90 days. But if I went on holiday now and I came back on the 30th of April, my 90 days starts on the 30th of April. It's the 30 days in April, I don't know. But my 90 days starts from the day you return, not the day that your visa or your renewal. So you still need to do your renewal when it's up for renewable, not your 90 day, because your 90 day can get mixed up or can go out of sync with your visa. So no, do your visa when it's required. Can I go and do online report after my first person? If I move to a new, yeah, you can still do it on if you move to another province. You can do your 90 days from anywhere in Thailand. But that will take into account your old address. So when you fill out your TM47 online, put your old address. But if you've actually moved to a different province, then you need to go to the immigration department and inform them that you've moved to a different location. For instance, even if you're just on holiday to a different province, so for instance, if you went to a hotel or a Airbnb and something like that, they are responsible for writing what's called a TM30 to say that you are in this address, and that will go to the immigration department. So that might cause a little bit of confusion because your address says that you live in Rayong, but your TM30 say at the minute you are in, say, Chiang Mai or something like that. So that under circumstances like that, your 90-day reporting can be refused because there's an anomaly. This says you live here, that says you live there. You just go to the immigration office and tell them you're on holiday and this is where you're doing your 90-day report. But if you also say that you're still living, because you're on holiday, it doesn't matter. You don't have to drive back to your province to do your 90-day online reporting. Sometimes that doesn't cause any problems, but sometimes it does. I've heard of a couple of people say because they're on holiday at the 90-day report and the TM30 says they're in Chiang Mai, but they live in Rayong, it's caused an anomaly. But you can just go to your immigration department because your proper address where you're living is stapled into your passport. That is your permanent address, if you like. And then they'll have the TM30 say that you're living at a particular address in Chiang Rai or wherever, Chiang Mai, wherever you are. So yeah, the 90-day, for me, if they did away with the 90-day, it'd be fantastic. But I can't see that happening soon. Hi, Les. Do you just pay for prescription medication private when you stay in Thailand? Thankfully, I don't have any prescriptions. I'm on no medication whatsoever, which is good. But whatever medication you were on before you came to Thailand, you can get over here anyway. Some of the more stronger medication, because I had several subscribers on very, very powerful medicine, if you like, for heart complaints and things like that. Almost all the medication you get in your country, you can get over here in Thailand. But some of the stronger medication, you need to go and see a Thai doctor once you come here, and with a doctor's note from your doctor to say this is the medication that you're on. And then once a Thai doctor gives you the go-ahead to say, yes, we will prescribe this medication, it might be an alternative, but it'll be a similar medication that you're on. Then once you've got that, then you can put a notice into the pharmacies, and they will supply you with your prescription medication that you need. But sometimes you may have to go and see a Bangkok doctor, Bangkok hospital doctor, or a hospital doctor in the public hospital to give you that initial prescription. It's not difficult to do, and it's not expensive to do. But yes, almost any medication you get anywhere in the world, you can get here in Thailand. Should I apply for a pension visa from your own country, thinking of a 1-year visa? Now, yes, you can. You won't be able to get a pension visa. You might get a 90-day O visa on preparation for a retirement visa, but I'd just do everything over here. Once you're over in Thailand, anything and everything can be done. If you apply for an OA visa, then you need to have insurance before you come over here for the period of time that you're coming here for. Whereas if you arrive here on a normal tourist visa, tourist exempt visa, that's for 30 days, and then you can extend it for 30 days, which gives you 60 days. And you only need 30 days to be able to apply for a retirement visa and a bank account. So you can do everything here on these 60-day visas, no problem whatsoever. That's the easiest way of doing it. But you can apply for an O visa based, like I did in the UK. When I went back to the UK, I applied for an O visa based on marriage, because my visa was finished. I had to go back to the UK because my mum passed, and it was on the visa renewal date. So I wasn't here to renew the visa because I was back in England. So my visa was terminated because I'd gone past the due date. So I did apply for a O visa based on marriage, and that was in Hull, but I think now it's London if you do it through the UK. But the best people to ring is the immigration department, the embassy, Thai embassy. They will tell you exactly what is needed and what you can do. So that's what I would do. But everything else, I would say, come to Thailand. You can sort everything else out in Thailand, and it's not difficult to do. I'm getting married next month in Thailand. I'm going to move to Thailand next, most likely. Still living in Denmark, but the cost of living crazy in Denmark. Well, congratulations on getting married. Best wishes to you. But yeah, Denmark, any European countries, you know, everybody that I meet that comes to Thailand is the same thing. It's so damned expensive in their country, and living here in Thailand is much more affordable and a better standard of living, and it ticks a lot of boxes. But again, one of the videos I'm going to do is about no going back, and it's so difficult to go back to your home country. You live here for 5 years, and basically you can kiss goodbye about going back to your home country because it'll be unaffordable. And like with the UK benefit system, and you know, help with housing, help with low income, once you're off that bandwagon, it's very difficult to get back on it. So basically, once you pull the trigger coming over to Thailand, that's why you have to be very sure that Thailand is the place for you, or anywhere in the world really, because once you get off the bandwagon in the UK, it's very difficult to get back on it for benefits and things like that. So many hoops to jump through. But best wishes for your marriage, and you know, best wishes for moving to Thailand. I hope everything goes well for you. Highlights: Thai gold has gone up I have no idea. No idea. Thai lifestyle is medication. Yeah, it can actually make you feel much, much better living in Thailand because of for me, stress-free life. There's no crime or very, very little crime. There's no crime in the village where I am. You can sleep at night. Just the feeling of well-being, happy people, no bad news, no riots, no discontentment. You can afford to live here. You don't have to worry about the bills. You don't have to worry about going out for something to eat. Tick all of them little boxes, and every one of them little boxes is a feeling of well-being inside. And that's what I love about living in Thailand. I could not live this lifestyle in the UK at all. 100% impossible. So, just the feeling of well-being living in Thailand for me is worth the move. But Thailand isn't for everybody. I sing its praises and I love Thailand, but it's not for everybody. There are some people who don't like Thailand. It's too hot, it's too sticky, it's too uncomfortable. The language barrier is a big obstacle to overcome in their view, but I've lived here for 12 years. I can't speak Thai very, very little. And but I live a happy life. I live a full of contentment, happiness, sleep at night every night, and I don't worry about things. So that makes you that well-being inside, which is fantastic. Question: is there any news about Thailand taxing UK pensions? And no news at all with that. And if you see any videos saying, here's the answer to it, as of yet, the top tax experts in Thailand still don't know. So if anybody's saying that type of thing, as of yesterday, I looked on yesterday because I knew I was going to do a live stream today, and there's still nothing yet 100% guaranteed. There's lots of speculation, but like speculation, wait until you have to cross that bridge and sort it out when it comes across. Don't worry about it. In my view, it's no need to worry about it. In my view, the best visa is the LTR. Costs 50,000 baht for 10 years, 90 days reporting once a year, access to fast track lane, and no tax charge for your pension income. There's no guarantee for that. The tax on your pension income, there's no guarantee on that. Absolutely no guarantee on that, because nobody knows. It's just all speculation. And as if for somebody to say you ain't going to get taxed on your income, nobody knows as yet. So the long LTR visa costs 50. I think there's a few more strings to that. It's not as easy as that for the long stay visa. I looked upon at the residence visa to stay here, but that was going to cost me between 90,000 and 150,000 baht for that visa. That means that I can stay here. I can buy land over here. I'd be classed as a Thai citizen. But the cheapest, 90,000 baht. Then you have to have an interview in Thai, which my Thai isn't very good. But I suppose if it was worth the effort to do it, then I'd go ahead with it. But 90,000 baht for the visa. I pay 1,900 baht every year. I have to jump through a few hoops. But how many 1,900, say 2,000 bahts in 90,000 baht? How many years is that for sake of jumping through a few hoops? I'll jump through the few hoops before I haven't jumped through the big hoop and give them 90,000 baht for the visa to live here full time. That's my opinion on that. Anyway, George, get married in Thailand cheaper. Yeah, the LTR is limited to a number of retirees. Yeah, again, for me, personally speaking, it wasn't worth jumping through them hoops at all. Yes, it's cheaper getting married in Thailand, but also I had this conversation with one of my subscribers the other day, and he didn't know. Before you get married in Thailand, make sure you know what you're signing up for. There's a thing called a sinsod, which is a dowry, and some people expect a dowry or a sinsod, which is a payment to the wife's or your wife's family So therefore, that can be expensive. The celebration, whatever, it can come as a big cost, and it's a loss of face if you don't go through with it. So look at all the options before you get married. So getting married in Thailand can be cheap, but the party and the sinsod and what it's going to cost you to get married might outweigh the cost of getting married. Now, me personally, me and my wife, we just went to the registry office and got married, and we had a month in Bali because I said I'm not paying for everybody to have a big party. It's our day, not everybody else's day, and so we did that, and it was cheap as chips to get married. But there are some Thai, because of face, who want the big party, the big celebration in the village. Every man and his dog comes along, and you pay for it. So it's having this discussion before you just say, yeah, I'm going to get married. This guy said, I'm going to get married in November. And when I said to him, well, what about the sinsod? What about this? I don't know. So now he's already committed because he's bought an engagement ring. And you need to know how much it's going to cost you. And how embarrassing if you turn around now and say, well, I want to marry you, but I don't want to pay for this. Know your options before you actually ask the question. I got my 90 days non-immigrant retirement visa from my hometown in Australia. And then I got an agent to apply for my 1-year retirement visa. Yeah, you can get your immigration retirement visa abroad. But again, it's everything to do. Everything you can get over here, no problem. You can do everything over here. Alcohol is cheap. Now, I've heard some people say the alcohol is expensive. Some people say the alcohol is cheap. I'm not a big drinker myself. I think it's okay. Gentlemen, 90-day visa. It's easy to open a Bangkok bank account. No, it's not easy to open up a bank account. It's very difficult to open up. Again, the Ruskies are a lot to blame about this for laundering money. So, but you can get an agent to open up a bank account for you between 4,500 and 5,000 baht. An agent will do it. Now, there are several people that I know that are saying, I'm going to go and open a bank account. I'm not going to get an agent to do it. And they've gone around 10 or 15 different branches and they've used an agent to open it up. Save all the legwork and things like that. It's like a chicken and egg situation. You need a bank account to get a visa, and you need a visa to get a bank account. So get an agent, pay the one-time fee, get them to open your bank account. That opens a lot more doors, and it's much, much easier than running around trying to do it yourself. That's just my little bit of advice for that. Take it or leave it, do whatever you want. Been living in Thailand on and off for the last 3 years, each year around 4 months. Kind of got the idea what I'm going into. Love the food, and the heat is great for me. Sun lover. I've got used to it. I still find it a little bit uncomfortable for this hot period, but it's 3 months of the year, but the rest of the year is okay. You actually look forward to the rainy season because it's cooler and it's a bit more wet, and it's some cracking good thunderstorms in the rainy season as well. And I love watching thunderstorms. So I sit on my passageway here watching the thunderstorm around about there, which is really, really good. And it just cools everything down. And then once the rainy season's over and done with, then it's cool season, and it's the best time of the year to be here, November, December, January. So I get used to it. It takes some getting used to, but it's still hot and sticky, and some people don't like it. But if you like Thailand in the hot season, then you love it every other part of the year as well. And that's what I say to different people who come here. Come here in the hot season. This is the worst time of the year for being uncomfortable and sticky. And if you can manage that, then the rest of the year is a piece of cake. Yeah, Scott, that's where we are getting married in South. I know about the money thing. It's strange, but they do. Yeah, some people do it and some people don't do it. Get married in the court first and after just with her family. She married before, so not much you have to pay. Yeah, love thunder. Great. I love thunderstorms. Yeah. Sin sod is for the it still can make a difference. You know, some people go with it and some people don't. Thankfully, it's one of them traditions that's dying out as well. Yeah, humidity is the worst. And humidity, it's now here, it's temperature's dropped by 1. It's still 31, but the humidity is 71. So it's quite high, the humidity, but you just sweat all the time, you know, plenty of showers and you're okay. Okay, right, where are we on? So there's no question. I've only gone through two of my list where I was going to talk about. Let's go talking about Cheap Charlies. Cheap Charlies is always a good one. But before we go on that, there's one more question, Les. I opened my own Bangkok bank account myself with my 90-day visa. It was easy, a lot of paperwork, but no problem. I know you can get an agent to do it. You're the first person I've actually talked to then that said it was easy. Everybody that I talked to, you're the exception who's been able to get a bank account opened. Everybody else is struck, especially around the Rayong and Pattaya area. They've used agents to do it. Maybe there's an agent thing in the Pattaya area, and because all the banks are linked with everybody. Okay, hi Pear. Swadikap. Enjoy. Okay. Yeah, my wife says it. She's just talking to a friend Pear, and she's showing Pear what I'm doing on the live stream type of thing. So yeah. Okay. So she's so I'm getting being filmed or whatever. So yeah, we'll go back on to Cheap Charlies. Cheap Charlies. Now, I would be classed as a cheap Charlie because I live on like 50 to 60,000 baht a month. Some people class me as a cheap Charlie, but believe you me, I know some cheap Charlies than even me. But living a cheap Charlie life, now I've got no problem. I help people live on 35 to 40,000 baht a month. I have no problem with that. But some of these people that I help living on that amount of money accept that you haven't got a lot of money. So you don't have to accept the best accommodation. You don't expect the best location. You don't expect the best of food. You don't expect the best of hotels and things like that. But there are some people, some cheap Charlies that I know that whinge about anything. They want the champagne lifestyle on beer budget, and it's just never ever going to happen. There are some people I know that whinge and moan about every single thing they do, and it's just like, stay away from them people. Stay away, because they'll drag you down. You know, they complain about anything and everything. Absolutely, it's mind numbing, the fact, and I've got a big tolerance level and I put up with it, but I stay my distance away from people like that. There's cheap Charlies, and then there's cheap I wish I could come up with a name for a cheap Charlie, but I don't understand it. When you've got no money, you sort of accept with what you've got. But even the cheap Charlie lifestyle over here can be a better lifestyle than in your home country. But for goodness sake, stop complaining about it. You have what you've got. You could still not, on a cheap Charlie budget here, live the lifestyle in your home country, guaranteed. So those people who whinge and moan about it, wow, you know, they've just been whingers and moaners all of their lives, I feel. And but it's just, the cheap Charlies are out there, and don't live a cheap Charlie lifestyle, but accept with what you've got. If you haven't got a lot of money, that's just the way it is. There are people even with less money than you. If you live, for instance, 35, 40,000 baht, that's a good income to a Thai person. That's probably treble what they're on. So, and they just get on with life. You know, they would love, they'd feel like millionaires on your budget that you've got. But some people over here, Westerners, still complain about living on their budget of a cheap Charlie budget. So anyway, I could go on all day about cheap Charlie living, but it isn't fun listening to people whinge and moan on about it all the time. Okay. So when I got married, I was not aware of the sin sod. Anyhow, I paid it. Not happy. The mother-in-law returned it the next day. She just wanted it for display, not for her pocket. Yeah, I mean that's the sin sod is like it's a face thing, you know. But you can sort of agree with this, that you can put a huge amount of money on a plate, you know, like 150, 200, $500,000 baht I've seen on a display, and then it goes back to the people the following day. It's just to show that everybody else can say, oh, look, she's married into money and things like this. And it's a face thing. But if you don't agree with this with your wife, then that money can just disappear the following day, type of thing. So before you get married, go through. Money is a touchy subject in any country, but probably even more so here because of, for instance, if you're a newbie here and you come here and you don't have a lot of money, but for the first time that you come here, you become a 2-week millionaire or a 3-month millionaire because you've decided to extend it, and you get to it, you meet a Thai girlfriend and everything's great, and you're spending all of this money because you want to impress her and you want to be with her, you want to show her a good time. Then it's just like, well, actually, when I come back here, I'm going to live on half this amount of money. Then you've sort of give them a false impression that you've got plenty of money, and nobody likes to tell them when you first meet somebody that I've got this amount of money now, but in 6 months' time, I haven't got this amount of money, because they don't want that happiness and that feeling to go away. But it's a big, big downfall, and that will cause a lot of problem. Be upfront from the minute you arrive. If you only have 45 or 50,000 baht to live on, that's what you're going to live on. That's what you're planning to live on. Live on like that from day one. Keep your savings in the bank account. Don't be spending money as if it's going out to fashion thing, and I want to impress this girl. I want to show what a good time we can both have. And then 6 months down the line, oh, hang on, mate, we've only got 50,000 baht a month to live on now, not 90,000 baht. That is the recipe for saying goodbye and see you later. Honesty. If they know you've got no money, if they know you've only got a budget, they'll understand that, because even your small budget, 35, 40, 50,000 baht a month, is maybe more than what they're on at the minute. So be careful with what you do. You know, first newbie mistakes is that you live like a millionaire, and the girlfriend that you're with thinks, oh, I've got a wealthy guy here, he's spending all of this money, we're having a great time. And then when it comes down to it, oh, I've got no money left now, this is all we've got. Then it's, you know, you've shown them something that it's not sustainable. Be honest with everybody from day one. You'll have a good lifestyle, and honesty is the best policy. Don't try to be something that you're not. That comes under common mistakes of newbies. Common mistakes for newbies. Again, I could make a whole new, well, in fact, I will do a video on the common mistakes of newbies coming here to Thailand. And that is the big thing. Money makes the world go around, in your own country and in here. And boy, it can cause some problems over here, and I've seen this. So I told my wife's father he should be giving me money, not the other. I bet that went down like a lead balloon. No, family always come first. You know, sometimes us foreigners are below the soy dog, so I've heard. So the Thai people value their family before us. So family will always come first. You never disrespect your Thai girlfriend's family. That's another recipe for disaster. You know, calling your wife's family lazy, you know, in front of them and things like that, and demeaning their family. you keep your thoughts to yourself with regard to the Thai person's family, because that is another recipe for disaster. Reception, I paid for everyone, donated cash, and it covered it all costs, so I donated to family. Yeah, again, you are when you first meet somebody and everybody wants to, you know, come and meet you, you'll find aunts, uncles, relations, you know, people who know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows this girl. They'll come when you go to the village, and this is why you've got to set your stall out very, very early. That if you meet a girl and you say, we're going to go meet all the family at the village, or I'm going to take them out for a holiday or something like that, if you don't give the ruling as to, listen, I'll pay for your mum and your dad, your aunt and your uncle, your brothers and your sisters, and that's it, then they know where to draw the line. Otherwise, aunts, uncles, next door neighbours, next door neighbours, next door neighbours' friends, and everybody else has come to meet this new foreigner who's with this girl in their village, and they'll all expect a drink, something to eat, and things like that. And it's the frang who pays for it. Listen to the people that have already been here. Listen to the people that already understand the situation, and take their guidance for this, because it will help in the end. Is that don't become, because then you'll feel ripped off that you're paying for everybody. And in reality, you are. In the first early stages is when you meet somebody and you go and meet the family, friends, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, and everything else. You will pay, but that's expected. But make sure that there's a limit, and she knows what the limit is. Money is the number one killer of relationships here, because their expectation and your expectation can be miles apart. That's why you need to have this conversation very, very early, is to say, you know, I'll take care of you, and I might make a donation to your mum and dad, but I'm not looking after, you know, everybody in the family. I'm not donating to everybody. If, you know, the cow's sick, then I'm not going to pay any money towards the cow or the bull or the dog or the next door neighbour's cat. You know, that's it. I'll take care of you. Get that conversation over and done with in the very, very early stages of being together with somebody. Again, I'm going to do a video with regard to the common mistakes of newbies who come here to Thailand. It is a big, big topic, and there's a few people who've covered it, but there are many, many mistakes that foreigners make, including me. I've made these mistakes as well. Everything that I talk about, I've been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt. I've made the mistakes. I've lost money. I've been ripped off. I've been scammed. So I'm talking by experience, and I'm talking what other people tell me also, because of living here for 12 years, I know a thing or two about living here. So money. Any news on tax and pensions, Les? Like I said earlier on, no news yet. I looked at yesterday to see if there was anything that come on the news. Even the tax experts, Thailand tax experts, don't know yet. So anybody that does videos saying, you know, we'll help you out with your taxes, we'll advise you on this, as yet, nothing has been decided. So still take it with a pinch of salt. It'll be massive, massive news. So don't worry, you won't miss it. It'll be massive, massive news when it eventually comes out. So my advice is cross that bridge when we come to it, even if we ever get to that bridge, because I don't think for us normal retirees who get our state pensions and maybe it's a private pension where it's actually not a lot of money, we will not be affected, if anything at all. But we might have to show that our tax pensions has already been taxed in the UK, because the UK does have a tax treaty with Thailand, and so it will come under, I'm saying it should come under the double taxation rules, that we don't get taxed twice on the money that we already get. But who knows? Again, I don't know the answers, but even the top tax experts in Thailand as yet don't know the answers. So when it comes out, it'll be massive news. There'll be so many people doing vlogs on that. It'll be unbelievable. So until that happens, just wait and see. In America years ago, the father had to pay for the wedding. Yeah, again, same with England. That was it. And it's sort of the same thing over here. Paying a dowry or a sin sod, it's a sort of similar thing over here. So, okay, going on to the next thing then. A big one is the no going back. And I'll use this as an example for the UK. Because I've looked into this, and again, I'm going to do a video on this because I've got lots and lots of information, and I've already put a link onto this as well, but I'll put the link again for those new people that have just come onto the channel. For those people who are thinking about going back to the UK because maybe Thailand isn't for them, not just Thailand, but it could be anywhere in the world, and it is ageuk.org. .uk. And if you have a look at that website, that is, www.ageuk.org.com .uk. www.ageuk.org. Yeah, what this is for is for those people who are thinking, if you've lived here in Thailand for 5 years and you think, okay, I'm going to go back to the UK, Thailand isn't for me. It's very, very difficult to get back onto the bandwagon in the UK. Now, this website with Age UK, they go through the various steps that you need to get for getting housing benefit. The people, they've got all the links and all the information that you have to apply to, what circumstances you can get benefits, what circumstances you can't. So, for instance, if you left the UK and you're just on your state pension, you come to Thailand, you can have a really good lifestyle here on your UK state pension. But if you lived in the UK and you're on the UK pension, you'll get housing benefit, you'll get various benefits because you're on such a low income. But once you leave the UK and you come to Thailand and you want to go back to the UK, it takes a while to get back onto that system. And it may be so expensive for you to get back onto that system. And it may take months for you to get back onto this. And you have to jump through so many hoops to get back onto that system. The NHS is the same, but that's probably the easiest part, to get back onto the NHS system as opposed to the benefit system. But if you arrived on a rubber boat, you'll get everything thrown at you. But you, as a British citizen, trying to go back to the UK, it takes a lot of hoops to jump through. And www.ageuk.org.uk goes through all of that. So before you even think about living in Thailand, have a look at that website. This is the worst case scenario. If you have to come back to the UK, these are the hoops that you have to jump through. And I've got to say, it is. I wouldn't like to jump through them hoops to go back to the UK. I'm fortunate I've got a decent enough pension. And many people have asked me whether I'd actually go back to the UK if something seriously, if I had a life-threatening illness or something like that, or a cancer or something I needed treatment for. And I said, no, my days are going to be spent here in Thailand. I forego my right to go back to the UK for the NHS. And if I've got a life-terminating disease or illness, why do I want to spend the last 6 months or a year of my life living in England, a country that I don't have the same feeling for that I did when I grew up as a kid? This is my final resting place here in Thailand. And I'd sooner see out my days overlooking that view there behind me than sat in some little bedsit somewhere because I can't afford to live. Because remember, I went back to the UK and I was trying to claim the benefit system again because my wages and my salary isn't enough to have a good lifestyle in the UK, and it isn't. Then I'm on a worse situation. I'm living in a country that's not going to take good care of me or anything, and I'm going to struggle to live there. And it's going to be freezing cold in the winter time. So no, my decision is to live in Thailand. I will see my days out in Thailand. If I get a life-threatening illness, then that's it. My number's up, and I'll live here in Thailand. I'll die here in Thailand rather than go back to the UK. So I will not be putting any more payments made to me through the NHS or something like that. So no, I'll see my days out here. But that's my own personal opinion. But there's other people also that if you have a life-threatening illness, they will, if they have family and friends back in the UK, then go back to the UK and get that treatment done. I've elected to say, no, I'm going to stay here. Are you living on that 65,000 baht a month? Just asking. I'm actually living on less than 65,000 baht a month. I'm living on between 55 and 60,000 baht a month. And I've done a couple of videos, maybe it's a year or so ago, I was living on 50,000, but now I'm buying this house. So my expenditure's gone up a little bit. So between 55 and 60,000 baht a month, I live on that amount of money. And if you've any watched my videos, I mean, this is my house where I live. I live in quite a nice area, quite a nice house. For me, I have a good lifestyle. I live a lifestyle that I couldn't afford to live this lifestyle back in the UK. We're 5 minutes drive from a lovely beach. We've just come back from a holiday to Koh Kud, which was like 3 or 4 days with some friends of ours. A fantastic lifestyle on that amount of money. You don't need a lot of money to have a good lifestyle here. The food, if you like Thai food, eating is cheap. But if you like Western food and you don't like Thai food, then it can be expensive eating Western food everywhere, especially if you go out and order Western food. It's probably double the price that you pay for Thai food. So thankfully, I like Thai food, and it's probably all I eat is Thai food. I rarely eat foreigner food. But yeah, that's the money that I live on, and it's so easily to do. Like I've done videos on 35, 40,000. In fact, the last 3 people that I've spoken to in the last 2 or 3 weeks, subscribers, and I've actually met them for lunch and they've been to the house, they are looking at $1,000 a month to live on over here. And I've showed them what $1,000 a month, how we can live. And 2 out of the 3 are ready to pull the trigger and move from the home countries over here just on the information that I showed them. So there's no BS. I've showed them actually, this is the accommodation that you can get. These are the restaurants that you can go to. This is the food that you can eat. This is the lifestyle that you can get. This is how you can get your pension. This is how you can get your visa, where you don't pay a visa agent. This is how you can do it. A, B, C, and D. And it's not difficult to do. Transportation, a motorbike. Getting your motorbike license here is easy. And once you have transportation here, life can be so much simpler. So you've got the transportation, living here on $1,000 a month. It is totally possible. Rayong isn't on the tourist map. It is affordable, easy living, cheaper living here. But we have some nice beaches here. Noisy motorbike. We have some nice beaches here. Koh Samet, it's on our doorstep. It's got one of the nicest, whitest beaches, one of the top 10 whitest beaches in the world. And it's on our doorstep. So yeah, you can live here, no problems. There are a lot of people also living up country, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Udon Thani, easily can live on 35 to 40,000 baht a month, easily, because it's rural. And if you live in more rural locations and not on the tourist map, it's cheaper. Everything is cheaper. I was thinking of keeping my house in Denmark to keep my feet in both countries so I don't have to worry about going back anytime. Yeah, again, if you can afford to do it, do it. As I say, it also gives you the option, if you need to go back, you can do it. But some of those people that pull the plug and come here full time and live here full time, then that becomes a bit more difficult to actually go back. Are you living on? Yeah, I'm doing that. 55 to 60,000 baht a month sounds great. My wife to be makes around 75,000 baht after tax. I'm not going to say what I get paid now, but wow, nice to get that. Yeah, as I say, that's a lot of money. You can have a marvelous lifestyle on that amount of money, no problem. Question, Les, is your living 50,000 for two people? Is that correct? Well, it's closer to 55 to 60 for two people, yes. And that's for everything. I said we're buying the house. I mean, buying this house, we paid 20,000 baht a month, and when we rented it, we paid 12,000 baht a month. So even that, so if you knock that 8,000 off the 60,000, that brings us down to 52,000. So you can, if you rented a house here, easily you could live on 50,000 baht a month for two of us, no problem whatsoever. And they said that there's other houses that you could get nice houses for 8 to 10,000 baht a month. So 50,000 baht, that's for two of us, and that includes everything, food. You know, I give my wife a salary because she has parents to look after as well and a son to look after. So that 50,000 baht covers absolutely anything and everything. And we can still squeeze a little bit out of that for holidays and things like that. And that also pays for my medical insurance every year, the fuel for the car, petrol for the car, the servicing costs. So 50 to 60,000 baht pays for absolutely everything. Holidays, sometimes I might dip into my little bit of savings that I've got that I can manage to save from my UK pension. And that pays for a little bit of extras. But for normal everyday living, 50 to 60,000 baht is totally possible. Don't want to spend that much a month because I'm thinking of only living on the 65,000 baht like you. But for 65,000 baht a month, again, that, you know, that 5,000 baht goes a long way here. And, you know, I'm paying 20,000 baht a month. So if you drop that down to like 8 to 10,000, that's another 10,000 baht a month you got around to play with. So my advice is just come to Thailand, travel around the country, see what rocks your boat, what makes you, you know, feel good. Again, out of the 3 subscribers that I've had come here, 2 of them said that they don't want to live here because it's too quiet. And I understand that. And they're single. And Rayong isn't a single person's place to be. It's a couple's place. It's a couple's place to live. Once you've got your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, Rayong isn't the best place to live in the whole of Thailand. But for me, it's great value for money because we have beautiful beaches not too far away from us. We have Rayong City for anything and everything that you want. The entertainment, we're not bar people anyway, so we have a nice house. We have a group of friends that we go socializing with, each other's houses for a couple of beers and something like that. We have beach barbecue. So our social life is different to living in like a Chiang Mai or party atmosphere places. If that suits you, all fair and well. But if you like entertainment, if you like the bars, if you like the entertainment, then you've got to move somewhere else. Rayong isn't that place to live. And my advice is go around, see what place suits you, then you'll be happier to live there. Rayong isn't for everybody, and I understand that. So I've been to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Pai, Krabi, Phuket, Koh Samui, where else? The memory's gone now. But I've travelled all over Thailand looking for some places to live. And I've got to say, Rayong was never on the map for me to look at. We come here because we come to see somebody else. And I got introduced to this English guy and I was talking to him. And he said, Les, he said, you've tried everywhere else for 2 weeks to a month. He said, give Rayong a try. And I said, no, it's a transient place. People only come here to go to Koh Samet, and I don't want to live on an island. He said, well, give it a try. So I lived here for 2 weeks and I've been here for 10 years. So, well, 12 years now. Yeah, coming to 12 years. 2 weeks, 12 years. So that's how much I like Rayong. For me, it has everything that I need, and it's cheap, it's affordable, they're friendly people, there's very, very little crime here, if anything. So for me, it ticks all them boxes, but some other people, it might not tick them boxes. And certainly if you're on your own, it doesn't tick all of them boxes. But there is entertainment here if you want entertainment as well. You've just got to go and look for it. You've just got to move in slightly different areas. And there are bars and there is entertainment. There are a good expat group if you join them. It's available there if you want it. But you've just got to go and look. That's all right. Let's have a look. What is the cut-off age for health insurance? 99 years. 99 years is the cut-off health insurance. But the younger you are, the easier it is to get health insurance. It's like I've had medical insurance for 10 years now. So I'm on that bandwagon. And like with Pacific Cross, I've got a link in the description of the guy, Loic. I had a face-to-face meeting with him. He's one of the reps from Pacific Cross, and he can tell you and give you any information that you want with regard to medical insurance, pre-existing conditions, and whether you can get them covered and things like that. He's a mind of information, and I've got his link on Retired and Living the Dream and Pacific Cross, so it's in the description. Ask him whatever questions you want. It'll give you a direct answer. But if you're over 65, Pacific Cross want you to have a sort of a medical before they actually insure you. So if you're younger than 65, get on the policy before that, and then you don't have to have a medical. But anything to do with health insurance isn't cheap over here, and it does go up every year. At the minute, I'm paying 25,000 baht a month. 25,000 baht a year for my medical insurance, and that only covers 700,000. Now, for me, there's some people say, "Oh, that's not enough," but for me, I think it's enough. It's a stick and plaster to get me fixed in the first place. I can afford 25,000 baht a year, but I couldn't find 700,000 baht if I needed to. So I'm pretty healthy. I'm on no medication and things like that. So when my pension kicks in another 2 years' time, my state pension, I'm on another 40,000 baht a month. So then I'll up my payments for medical insurance because I'm getting a little bit more money and I'm getting a little bit older. And as you're getting a little bit older, things might start going a little bit more wrong. But whilst I'm young and healthy, why do I need to have 3 or 5 million bahts worth of cover? 700,000. I've been here 10 years, never ever had to claim on it. And touch wood, I never ever have to claim on it. But who knows? So if I'd had a 3 or 5 million baht policy for then 10 years, what a waste of money that is. But, you know, you take the rough with the smooth, and what's best for you, that's the way you need to look at it. But it isn't that expensive, I don't think. Spent 7k sterling in 6 weeks, Pattaya. You must have had a fantastic time for 7k in Pattaya for 6 weeks. I'm sure you've got some stories to tell with that amount of money, that's for sure. I'm planning to live off 1,100, 1,200 euros for 2 people without house and car payment. Easily, absolutely easy. You can, with no payments for houses, that's certainly an easily amount of money to live on. Again, when I'm 70-year-old, we'll have that because then we don't have to pay the 20,000 baht a month that I'm paying to buy the house in the first place. And in reality, we'll probably pay for this house by the time I'm 67, 68. So then we'll have no house payments whatsoever. And by that time, we'll be on about 115,000 baht a month. So that will be my income when, you know, just to live on 115,000, which is a fantastic amount of money. Street food is okay. I like the street food. It's probably better for you than some of the restaurant food. Have you seen many expats settle in Rayong since you have been there? Yep, I've helped a few people actually settle in Rayong. A few people come they watch my videos and think Rayong is a wonderful place, which it is, but it's also quiet and it doesn't suit everybody. And where I live is a little bit remote to some people, and you do need transportation, but it suits me. I mean, I've got that view, beautiful view over the road from me. We live 5 minutes drive away from a 7-Eleven. We live 15 minutes away from Lotus and Macro. We live 40 minutes away from the city of Rayong. We live 5 minutes drive from a beautiful beach. We live 15, 20 minutes away from contentment. So for me, it ticks the boxes where I live. And when I was young, I wanted to live in the countryside in England, but it was way beyond my pay grade, if you like. To live in the countryside, it was just like such a huge amount of money, unaffordable for me. But here I am living in the countryside, and I can afford to live here. I can afford to put petrol in the car. I don't have to worry about the food bills. I don't have to worry about the electricity. Don't have to worry about the housing costs. I don't have any of them worries whatsoever. But I understand also them people who want a little bit of entertainment, who want a little bit more. We have a cinema system. I have a 100-inch screen, projector system. So I have my movies. I'm not a big TV watcher, but I watch YouTube and things like that. So my entertainment is at home because I'm not a bar person. We've just come back off a fantastic holiday. We go with friends on holidays and things like that. We social out. We have barbecues on the beach. So for me, I like this lifestyle here, but I understand, and I also appreciate it's not for everybody. I went to Koh Samet and stayed at the Blue Moon Hotel, thanks to your recommendations. Well, I hope it was good. I mean, the Blue Moon Hotel is walking distance to sort of the main beach and the town centre. And, if you don't want to ride motorbikes, it's the ideal situation. It's the ideal place. The beds are very comfortable. Steve, the owner, is very friendly and accommodating. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for letting me know. Really enjoyed the chat today. See you next time. And nice was great, Les. Stay safe, everyone. Okay, thanks very much, George. Enjoy the rest of your day. Who'd that crunchy clown beeping his horn? I don't know. Good night, George. Blue sky question. Hi, Les. Wow, the view behind you is a picture postcard. We're beautiful. Hope to retire in Thailand soon. I'm fed up with the UK. Yeah, I mean, look at it. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. And just over there, we have a palm tree plantation. So, and at the back of us, back there, we have a house. It's just beautiful. I don't know whether you can hear the birds in the background, but the birds in the background is nice. And it's just, I sit on the sofa here and like the sun comes up over there, like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I have my coffee on the sofa, and that's my view. It's beautiful. And I can't complain about it. It is, I live a good lifestyle and I live a good life here. And it's available to anybody and everybody. But you've got to jump through a few little hoops to do it. But for me, it's worth doing. Has anybody been to Bang Saray? No, no, I can't say I've been to Bang Saray. No, I think we might have drove through it, something like that, but it's not really a place that we've been to. But there are plenty of places that's still on our location where we want to go to. And as I say, this year we're going up to Ban Rak Thai, which is right up north of Thailand, and then we're going to Pai for Christmas, and then Chiang Mai for the New Year to let our lanterns off. So that's basically going to take care of the whole of December, because it's 19 hours to drive up to Ban Rak Thai from here. So we're going to do it over a 2 or 3 day period, spend a week in most places, and then come January the 2nd or 3rd, we drive back down to here, back down to Rayong. So I'm looking forward to that. But in between, here we are now in March. We've just come back from Koh Kud. This is our second trip this year to Koh Kud. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful island, and I loved it. And we had a good time there. Snorkeling every day, kayaking every day. And because I didn't have to drive anywhere, it was a beautiful location. Met some interesting people over there. A guy called John, a Canadian guy, who's living in this resort with a stunningly beautiful view. All of his food, his accommodation, electricity for 20,000 baht a month. It's on an island. It's just beautiful. He pays a little bit extra for a motorbike as well, but he loves it there. And 20,000 baht a month. So for those people who are saying, how much can you live on? This guy's living on less than 30,000 baht a month, and everything is included. Fantastic lifestyle. Good on you, Les. Thank you very much, Scott. I've been there twice. Oh, I've been there, a nice and quiet spot mostly. Thai tourists go there, I believe. Yep. Well, so there was plenty of people. I mean, plenty of tourists there as well. Lots and lots of tourists. In fact, the two hotels. Although we booked for 3 nights, there was a mistake, a cock up on the booking because they were fully booked and they were overbooked. So 2 of our group had to go to the hotel couple of doors away, and even that hotel was full. But they made arrangements, and 2 of our group went and stayed in another hotel 2 doors away. And here we are in March, and the resort was full, and so was the hotel that they went to was full. Got love Thailand. Hello there, Dave. Yeah, everything is okay. Thank you very much, Dave. How did your caravanning trip go? I hope it went very well. Got to love Thailand. Anybody who likes live streams and things like that, Dave does quite a few every week, and he's an interesting guy. He's an American guy. So anybody who likes live streams and that, Dave's the man to talk to. He'll talk the hind legs off a donkey. He's an interesting guy as well. And he's done lots of things, building houses. He's got a caravan, trucks, motorbikes and things like that. So have a look at Dave with Got to Love Thailand. Well worth tuning in and having a chat with Dave 2 or 3 times a week. Oh, you just got home. Oh, well done. I hope everything went well. I won't be driving anywhere over Christmas and New whilst the Thais are on the holiday roads are rammed. Yeah, it's called the 7 Days of Madness is the New Year period, because there are a lot of deaths on the road. The Thais, if I've got a dislike of Thailand, that's it, is the drinking and driving, is that there's a lot of it goes on, and there's not a lot of punishment for those people who do drink and drive in Thailand. It's not good at all. I think it's bad. They should be punished a lot more for it. And even foreigners drink and drive a lot over here, because the likelihood they're not going to get caught for it and they just get away with it. So I don't drink and drive. I park the car up, and if we go to a barbecue on the beach, I will rent an accommodation between 500 and 700 baht a night, and then just park the car opposite and we walk across to the beach and we have our barbecue. But that's just me for not drinking and driving, because what's the point in it? You likelihood you could kill yourself or kill somebody else or kill your wife. Or there are foreigners that I know that have actually killed people and through drinking and driving. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But no, do not drink or drive. Yeah, Dave. Yeah, welcome, Dave. I mean, you've given me plenty of plugs on your channel. That's thank you. Very, very grateful for that. But I said, Dave, I met Dave at a YouTubers meeting in Pattaya, and the minute I spoke to Dave, we sort of hit it off, and we just never stopped talking for the whole weekend. And he's full of information, and he's another guy, been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt. He's built houses. He's got koi carp. He's got motorbikes. He's got a caravan. He's got trucks. He's just a mind of information, and he can help people. He lives up in Surin, so a little bit north of Thailand compared to where I live. So he's another helpful guy for those people who want to live, you know, in the countryside and things like that. Just a mind of information. And we were supposed to go down. Well, we were going to meet in Pattaya, but sadly we were in Cud at the time. Otherwise, we would have met him again in Pattaya. But I hope everything went well, Dave, down in Pattaya. What type of visa was John the Canadian staying in Thailand on? Oh, John the Canadian in Cud, he was on a retirement visa. He was on a retirement visa, but he got a visa agent to do it. So again, it was a funny guy to see because he was just full of tattoos. He had lots and lots of tattoos, and he said he's had tattoos put on in 2 weeks. Basically, all of his body covered in tattoos because he sort of became addicted to having tattoos. And very, very interesting guy. But for me, it's not for everybody living on an island, because once you've seen everything, you've seen everything. But he enjoys it, and he's booked up to stay there for a year, 20,000 baht a month. Fantastic. Yeah, so a retirement visa. Songkran is the worst for traffic. Extended 5 days this year. Everyone goes back up. Yeah, Songkran again is sadly another time of the year that there's a lot of deaths on the road. But alcohol, speed, and it's just a mixture for a disaster, isn't it? So it is the way it is. But that we stay off the road for Songkran. We're gonna, in Banpei where we live, we're gonna drive around to our friend. He has a guest house, so we're going to stay in the center of Banpei. And for 2 days, we're just going to be doing the water fighting and drinking and going around the streets, type of thing, with the music. It's a fantastic, happy feeling time, but we will not be on the roads during them 2 days of Songkran where we are on the roads, that's for sure. Yeah, it was a blast. Wish you could. Yeah, I'd like to have made it, Dave. As I say, it's you know, I enjoyed the last time that we were there. It was just fun. As I say, talking to you was it was nice also. But I still missed also, even though they do it once a month at the Kiwi and whatever in Jomtien, that every month they have a YouTubers meeting. I've only ever attended one of them because I'm never bored. We always have something to do here, and you know, every day is filled up with doing something. So I'm never ever bored living here, and we always have something to do. And so we've just come back from Cud, and we extended it another day at my friend's guest house. So we had another bit of a party at their guest house, and now it's back down to the mundane thing: the washing, the ironing, the cleaning, and and my live stream here, which is now we've been going for almost 2.5 hours, and my face is a little bit dark in there now, so maybe I should turn on a light or something. Yeah, foreground lighting. It's just the way I'm normally. If I have the table that way, so you don't see that behind us, then you can see me. But now looking at this, it's gone a bit dark. Yeah, so I might actually end this live stream now at this, because it's getting a little bit dark. And next time I do it, I like it because of this view here, as opposed to overlooking in that direction or overlooking in that direction. But it does need a little bit of foreground light, and that is for sure. So okay. On that note, I'm going to call the live stream to an end. 2.5 hours. It normally goes on for 3 hours, but I can see my face and looks a bit dark type of thing. So we'll give that an end. So thanks very much for all those people who have joined us. Thanks very much for the thumbs up and everybody. Thanks for the questions. And we'll do another live stream in a couple of weeks or something like that. So thanks very much for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It all helps the algorithm. Thanks very much for those people who've done all the chat and the comments and things like that. Without you, the channel wouldn't work. And hopefully you get some information, good information that you can get from this channel. Any questions, anything that anybody wants, send me a message on my email address, which is in the description. Noisy truck. And then as it, I'll answer any of your questions. No problem whatsoever. When your wife says, I love you, Les, does it make you sad? If my wife says, I love you, does it make me sad? Why would it make me sad? 76 watching, only 46 likes. Looking at the likes, I've got 67 and 69 people watching. So I'm okay with that. But thanks very much for mentioning it. Have a good week, Les. Thanks very much, Mick. Good night, Les. Thanks for the show. Thank you from Scott. Enjoy New Zealand. Thanks very much, Scott, for tuning in. Always a pleasure. Sorry, Les, didn't mean to be. No, I didn't take any offense on it. No problem whatsoever. Okay, that's it. Finished. 2 minutes, 29 and 58 seconds. So almost 2 hours, 30 minutes. So thanks very much, everybody. Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks very much for joining in. Bye for now.